Hey, welcome back to Healed Whole Call. Today's conversation is for the woman who's holding on a lot. Family, responsibilities, dreams, and somewhere inside is wondering, is there more for me to is there more for me too? So I'm joined by Tara Emerson, a farm wife and mom of four who has built a life that beautifully blends family and purpose. It's one of resilience, creativity, and saying yes even when it feels uncertain. So, Tara, I'm so honored to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and share.
So, I'd love to start with how you wear so many hats: mom, business owner, author, speaker. What has that journey looked like for you over the years?
It really started out rough. Um, I had a rough childhood growing up, and then it took a lot of major things to happen in my life to trigger myself to start healing and figuring out what I wanted my life to look like instead of being a product of what I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And those lessons, they always knock louder and louder every time you choose to not go through them and choose to not feel and choose to not grow from them. So, I mean, those lessons were getting really loud. So I just threw my life into healing and what I wanted my family to look like and that sort of thing, and just really leaned on God and the people that did support me. And it didn't always look this pretty, and it doesn't ever look pretty. It's always messy, you know.
Yeah.
Doing the things that you want is messy and it's scary.
Right. Well, yeah, and there's been times. I mean, for years, decades now, I've lived my life however I want, and as this may sound a little weird to the audience, when people are like, "Ah, you have balls of steel." Obviously, I'm female. I don't have balls,
Yep.
but what they mean by is that there's nothing that stops me from doing what it is that God has called me to do, or whatever I feel like I just go. I jump off the cliff, and I'm like, "Here we go!" And I build on my way down before I go splat. And so
Yeah.
I end up with wings, and I do okay.
Right. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't,
Yeah,
but you tried.
that's right. And was there ever a moment where you realized you wanted more than just the day to day? So obviously, you started to heal, you started to build your family, all the different things. So as you're in the midst of all of that, which we can get lost as moms and females and wives, was there something beyond what you originally imagined for your life?
Oh my goodness. Like after I turned 30 and especially into 40, I cannot believe the things that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 20-year-old me would have never have dreamed or guessed that I could have showed up for myself that big,
Mm-hmm.
because so oftentimes in motherhood, we're taught, you know, sacrifice for yourself, for your family, put everybody above yourself. Your kids are who matters most, and they do, but it's just in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I was never taught that you can't give to your family from an empty cup, and I just kept running and running and running. And then, that identity crisis kind of happens. I feel like a lot of moms have that point in motherhood where they're like, wait a second, where am I in all this? I give and give and give, and I love it, and it's fun, but I forgot even what I like to do for fun. Like I seriously think every mother goes through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started stepping back into that, like, okay, what do I like to do? What sounds good? And I always say that the best ideas come in the shower. And I like I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this children's book. I don't know how. I don't know the first thing about publishing, but I will figure it out. And sure enough, I did. And then I accidentally won a pageant. Um,
How do you
that
accidentally win a pageant?
I know this is so crazy. I need to do my own podcast episode about this, but I haven't yet. So I showed up to a pageant to put my daughter in it. It's just a local, cute little town pageant, but it turns out it was a sanctioned pageant that year. And my daughter wanted to be in it. I was like, okay, great. I'll bring it. And my stepdad's celebration of life was the same day.
Oh my gosh.
So I was dressed for like a funeral, and the organizer of the pageant was like, Tara, I only have one other Mrs. contested. She's like, I hate giving out participation trophies. Would you be in it? And I was like, okay, well, let me ask my girls, because pageants are their thing. And my girls were like, yeah, go ahead, Mom, try it out. So I did. And I won, which was just crazy to me. And then I went to the state pageant and I got first runner up, and my daughter got first runner up as well. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I changed systems, pageant systems, to the international pageant system, and I just loved it. I had so much fun. And that was a scary thing for me to do, really scary. But I just knew that that's what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
So I was 2025 Mrs. North Dakota International.
Oh, that's so fun. I never thought in 2026 I'd meet a pageant winner. That's so fun. I did meet one in 2024. I think it's funny is that, God connects people in different ways, but it's like, I guess when I think of pageants, I always think of Miss Congeniality and the woman going in the back.
Oh, for sure.
I forget that it is a really neat system that can bring real honor to females. And I actually have a high school friend. I don't know if he still does it, but he actually goes on stages and is the MC to the different
pageants. Cool. Yeah, so, that's awesome.
I'll have to connect with him. I haven't done that in years. But back to the topic of all the great things about you.
Well, I do want to talk about pageantry for 1 second.
Yeah.
Because the person who accidentally won that pageant and the person who showed up on stage 6 months later or 10 months later, whatever it was, on the international stage that much later, were two completely different women.
Ooh, tell me more.
I was so surprised at how a goal of being in a pageant, like I didn't even have an inclination that I was going to win or I was going to try to win or anything like that. It was pushing me to show up for me. And it was being there for me to reclaim parts of the femininity that I have lost along the way.
Mm-hmm.
When you are on a farm, when you're in men's work,
mm-hmm.
Like you're wrapped up in all these masculine details, and it's so easy to lose that femininity, that softness within yourself. And that, you're always on the nurturing end because you have kids and, you're doing all those things day to day, but holding everything and everyone together and working on numbers, working in the dirt, working on all these other things, those are very masculine details. So it was just really cool to like be around really feminine women and be included. And I have never met more positive women in my entire life.
Oh, that's amazing.
And more women who are cheering for you instead of being jealous or things like that. Because I feel like in small towns, you get a lot of, well, who does she think she is?
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
yeah.
Speaking
yeah, right. And speaking of small town, I forgot to tell everybody that you're from Iowa. So you're
no, I'm from North Dakota.
I'm at North Dakota. My brain went to Iowa. Different. So sorry. But anyway, so she's a farmer's wife, business owner, and you guys help manage a large amount of land. Was that something that you planned on, being a farmer's wife? Because I can tell you, my mom didn't plan on it. My sister-in-law didn't plan. It was not on their radar. They said My mom even used to say, I'm never going to be a farmer's wife. Well, and then, they'll be married 49 years this year. So, like, how has that experience been? Because I know as the wife, it is not an easy role.
Right. It is not. When my husband and I got married, like our original plan was to just, you know, he was going for his business degree. I was going to be a respiratory therapist, all the things. And then it just kind of came up like we were both in college and we ended up buying a farmyard. I don't know how we afforded that, but we figured it out. And then just after that, he was like, oh no, I'm going to farm.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But him and I are both fifth generation farmers, so it really probably isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was something that I would do because, like, I didn't grow up in the farm
Hmm.
because my grandpa passed away when I was about 4 or 5, and so I have memories with him farming, but I didn't think that was something I was going to do.
Right.
But yeah, and that's what happened. And then I worked away from home for a while, and then we had more kids, and it got harder to work far away because the closest hospital that had respiratory therapists was an hour away.
Um,
So I mean, that's a 2-hour commute a day. Like that
mhm.
was hard. It was really hard. So
And then your husband's job of being a farmer, that's sun up to sundown. So it's not like he's
yeah,
just able to take care of the kids during the day while you're working. This is not a thing.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So after our second child, I went down to just flex, like just helping out when they needed it, and then we kept having more kids, and life just got busier, you know.
Yeah. So then okay, so now that we went back to the farming stuff, I want to pivot back to the pageant thing. What did your husband think?
He's so good. He always thinks that everything I do is a bad idea. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I could decide to even help him with something and he's like, "Oh, it's a bad idea." That's the farmer in him. And then I just do it and then he's like, "Oh, this is great." I mean, he always goes along with it. Like he says it's a bad idea and then he always goes along with it. So it's not like he's
Yeah.
like, "No, you can't do that."
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
he's That's just who he is. It's really funny. Um,
You can
and
joke.
he's like, "Okay, great. All right. This is what we're doing now."
Oh my gosh. So I'd love for you to share about how did you take that first step into I know that you talked about the pageantry. So after that, did you step into something new even while still balancing family responsibilities? Because that opened like a whole new identity of yourself.
Yeah, it really did. I so during my year as Mrs. North Dakota, my daughter ended up having a traumatic brain injury.
What?
So I decided to keep doing the pageant because I needed it for me. It wasn't about anyone else.
Hmm.
Um, and during the week of the pageant, like she was kind of in a phase where we thought she was okay. Um, and we just went along with it. And it was a really good break for me um, because we spent 6 months in treatments like hyperbarics and osteopaths and all kinds of chiropractic appointments and all that kind of stuff, just getting her healed. And so we spent 6 months
Mm.
doing that. But in that time, like I was able to meet other former Mrs. North Dakotas, and they really supported us on this journey. And I was just so thankful to everybody for being there, and it just opened up a whole new world of friendships and life to me, really.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I haven't really done anything new. I guess I did finish the second book in the Jolene the Fluffy Cow series. So that's good. That's at the illustrators. So that's great.
Oh,
And
cool.
we'll just keep working on that. Next, We are set to get Jolene at our farm full time. So we're really excited about that. And then, oh yeah, and then the food truck. That was kind of a crazy thing that happened at the end of last year. Our friend was retiring from her food truck, and her and I have always connected on that kind of stuff. And it's my husband and I love to entertain,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been doing it for years. Like our son's graduation, we did a fish fry for like almost 200 people.
Wow.
Like it's yeah, we cater like all of those things ourselves, and it's always really fun. And we've talked about having a restaurant, but then our friends are like, no, you cannot have a restaurant. You're already married to the farm. You cannot have a restaurant.
So true. I was going to be like, oh God, please tell me she didn't do that. That is a bad idea.
Yes, yes, exactly. So my friend got a hold of me and she was like, okay, Tara, I'm retiring. Do you guys want to take it over? So we did some soul searching and we said yes. We bought her food truck and we are about to start, in the next week or so,
Mm-hmm.
going out. And yeah, it's been surprisingly fun. I mean, my part of it so far has been kind of I told my friend, I was like, I'm kind of stuck in the suck of it right now because you're doing all of like the hard stuff, right? Like getting licensed and figuring out ordering and menus and business plans and all that stuff. Like that stuff doesn't light me up. Talking to people lights me up, and being around other people and serving other people, like that really lights me up. And um, I think so many people, that is the hardest part of
Right.
where they are in their life, is figuring out what lights you up again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And this is really great for my husband as well. Farming has been really hard for him lately, um, because of some extended family stuff. And it like he went out to do some training in Texas at Goldie's Barbecue. They're the number one barbecue place in Texas, or they were at one time. I don't know, it changes all the time, I think. He trained with them and he came back, and like I haven't seen him light up like that in a really long time. So we're really, really excited about the food truck endeavor.
So I'm guessing it's a barbecue food truck.
It is a barbecue food truck, yes.
That was going to be my next question. So that's super fun. So few more questions. For the woman who feels like her dreams have been put on the back burner, what would you say to her?
Write it down. I know that's so silly. Write it down, what it is you used to love, and then just one day, just go do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it. Just say yes. Um, so often it seems like opportunities will just arise as soon as you allow yourself permission. Like allowing yourself permission to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
to do something that is completely frivolous, inefficient, doesn't make any sense. Just allow yourself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in January, I got asked to model at a fashion designer's show. Her name is Robin Towell, and she was a former pageant. She was, gosh, she was Mrs. International 2019, I believe. And she started her own line of beautiful gowns and dresses. And anyways, I applied to be in her fashion show, and she said yes. Modeling is something I wanted to do as a kid and never thought anything of it ever again. You just think, oh, I'm old now. Like this, this is who wants to see old lady models, right? Like that silly, those stories that we tell ourselves. But I was able to do it, and I ended up being on a cover of an international fashion magazine in one of her gowns. Like it's just saying yes to something that does not make sense whatsoever.
That's so good. So often I I have a friend of mine. She's currently has said yes to a retreat. And she's been nervous. She's like, I just don't know. Maybe I shouldn't go. And I'm like, because she's introverted and likes to stay to herself. And she sometimes she'll just work, 14-hour days every day, 7 days a week because she doesn't know what else to do. She's single. And I'm like, I go, you don't have to work that much. You have the permission to only work, 8 hours a day. I go, I work 6 and I spend time with myself in the morning and my family at night. And whatever doesn't get done. And sometimes I'll push it over if there's a project deadline type thing, but I'm the one that decides, nobody else. And she's like, I just don't know if I can go on this trip. I go, you're going to have a great time. She goes, oh my God, I haven't been on a plane in 7 years. And I'm like, just go. Pray the blood of Jesus and the legion of angels over that plane. If there's turbulence, say turbulence, be still. It's what I did when I was on a plane the other week. And it works. And she's like, oh, okay. And so she should be landing here soon. She wasn't going far. She was in Jersey going to Atlanta, I think. That like can't possibly be more than an hour and a half. So right. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. And so she's just like, what if it's not a retreat and it's a boot camp? And I'm like, dude, just chill.
When has God ever not served you, right? When has he ever been like, well, I'm going to put you in just this horrible situation and not have your back whatsoever? I mean, yeah, it's just our own mind. Like our own mind like spins these stories that have no foundation to them. It's just
exactly.
Yeah. And in all of the self-healing work that I've done in the last 10, 15 years, like it's recognizing the patterns of our own thought processes that's what gets us to break them. And then that opens up opportunities that we didn't know we were ready for.
That's right. And each time you can just say, but did you die? And you realize you did it. Like, okay, I did it. That did not kill me. I can keep going. It's like, going out and eating by yourself in a restaurant, going to a movie by yourself. Working on a children's book. Like I wrote and illustrated my own children's book 3 years ago, which changed the trajectory of my life. Now I help people with that, helping with their books for a living. But had I not did that first, yes, then the other doors wouldn't have happened. So often people want to see the end from the beginning. The only person that has the ability, and that's not even a person, the being is our creator. So he just wants you to trust and take the step. It's kind of like in that movie in Indiana Jones, take a step onto the blank of nothingness and, the possibility of falling to your death. But once you take the step, you realize there's something there to stay steady and to keep you going. So it's just surrender and trust. And it's so hard in this role, but I can promise you.
It is hard. Yes.
I do it on the daily. And I love my life. I don't think there's anything other than a few things that I would change aesthetically about some stuff. All in all, life's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. So yes, it's so important to surrender and trust that inner voice.
That's so amazing. Now we're going to give you one more opportunity to share a beautiful nugget for the audience before we close out.
Oh goodness. Ooh, that's a hard one. I feel like I gave a lot of it away already.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just a word of encouragement. Like one final word. I know that we kind of like the last question was encouragement, but you said yes to a pageant. What is the best way that I guess there's really no best way that we can explain to people to just say yes, because we're raised to just say no, to draw blah, blah. But you know what I mean?
Right.
So how can you encourage people to say yes to themselves and their dreams more? And then we can finish with that.
Yes. I feel like a lot of life is uncovering who you are in Christ. And peeling off all the layers of all the thought patterns that we're taught and the things that we're conditioned to believe, and even lineage patterns that we don't really understand or know about, but really recognizing them and uncovering who we are as a true creator of our own life
Mhm.
and being who we are destined to be, you know, just keep doing the work. Like the work is hard, but everything's hard,
Yeah.
right?
So,
You choose your hard. If
mhm.
you choose if you choose not to work out, then you're probably going to you're choosing heart disease later, like things like that. Like you choose what your heart is, you get to decide and uncover who you truly are. That's
Uh,
when life gets brilliant and magical and
so good. I love it. It's such a good ending. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Tara, thank you so much for your time and your testimony and your beautiful stories, because they're so good. Where would everyone check out your books? Are they on Amazon, or where would they be? Oh, did we lose her?
oh, I was going to get one out. But we also have a stuffed animal of Jolene the fluffy cow. You can only order that through my website. That's Tara Emerson, tara-emerson.com.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put
Yeah.
that thing. So, well, thank you so much for all of your time. And everyone, thank you so much for living life and being brave and knowing that you are always healed, whole, and called. Until next time.
Bye. Thank you.